Hello and welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. It is a beautiful week. I'm joined by the one and only Herman Manyora for today's political conversation. As we start the week, how are you doing today?
Good.
Just good.
Good.
Last time you said vibes.
It's good.
Today is just good.
Yeah.
Today's political conversation, though, is a conversation that we need to have about the politics that is happening in the country. A culture of handout in the name of empowerment, or is it empowerment that we think is handout? Are we creating chaos for ourselves in this country? Prof, let me start by asking, what would you say is a handout and what would you say is empowerment when you look at our political leaders, even in their rallies?
You know, I think you can only draw a distinction between a serious program and a populist dispensation and then disbursement. Yeah. Even governments can be populist. Kazi kwa vijana. That is just being populist. But you can come up with a program, say cash transfer, that has been going on. That was stipend to all people, you know, or like 6,000 to, like Raila is saying, if you have refined it. But if you just throw money down there, it's a handout.
Okay, what is happening right now in our rallies? We saw what happened in Condell and even spoke about it in your video. Deputy President William Ruto was accused of giving out handouts, but his team is saying this is money that was given out for logistical issues when it comes to the campaigns. What should we read when we see politicians like the Deputy President William Ruto coming out and giving out money? Same thing happening in Kitui, giving out cash to one of the politicians over there to disperse it to people.
In my video there, I said it's dangerous because there can be a stampede for that money and bad things can happen. In the middle of such a big crowd and you move an envelope, 2 million in cash, that's dangerous. There can be a stampede and something could happen. Money is always used in a campaign, in whatever form. They are always, even in America, you can't do without money. That's why they do serious fundraising for logistics and for other things. Sometimes it's crude, like in our case, where you actually give people money. But whatever you do, however you do it, for whatever purpose, always think about the impact. If there is the possibility of danger, like people fighting over money and causing chaos, like dividing youth and causing chaos like it was in Condell, you must be careful about it. Yeah.
So would you say that we have given ourselves, the politicians that we've created this culture where our politicians have to give us something for us to give them our votes in return? And is there a way we can get out of it?
We have to get out of this. Even at lower levels, MCA, MP, everybody seems to think, in many parts of this country, unless people queue and you give them some little money, they will not vote. We have to get out of that. Because if somebody gives you 100 shillings or 200, or even 1,000, what will it do to you? It won't change your life.
But we've created this handout culture for the country.
It's not good. We have to walk out of that. Leaders must not make people think money is very important in terms of handouts. No, it's not good.
When you hear someone like the followers of the Deputy President, his leaders coming out and saying that this is empowerment, many times you've said Raila Odinga doesn't do this. Them coming out and saying this is empowerment, you've not answered the question that I asked. Is it really empowerment when you see such kind of money being distributed?
There's no empowerment. When you throw money at people, what empowerment are you talking about? That's not empowerment. No. Even if you say I'm going to give so much money somewhere or to a certain category, without a proper program, it's just waste of time. It's not empowerment. And that explains why and I think you know this, government has put so much money down there. So when Ruto talks of 50 billion, 100 billion, and government has put so much money down there in all manner of things. But there's nothing to show for it because they are not well thought out programs. And the implementation is always wanting. So I'm saying, if you want to give money to the people, let it be a product of clear thinking, well thought out programs, backed by law, and administrative support, implementation structures, the right infrastructure in place, and the monitoring put in place so that we can see, is it benefiting anybody? Yeah, that is empowerment. But throwing money out is not empowerment.
In our conversations, you usually say politicians are people of bad manners. Yes. Politicians will continue being politicians. For them to win 2022, do they really have to give the handouts?
You know, this country, we are still at that level where money seems to be, in its very crude, stupid way, to be important. Because even if you are contesting for a seat, you might think, if you are new in politics, that only villagers will ask you for money. You'll be surprised even the people you respect will be asking money and expect the money from you.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's why I say this Raila man, he has a magnet. He doesn't give money, but he has support.
Oh.
I don't know where he gets that magnet. In this country, without money, nobody will listen to you.
Can he be able to beat William Ruto, who seems to be following the politics of someone like Daniel Teach, giving out money? Will Raila be able to beat such a person that seems to be having crowds? We're not sure whether they're there for handouts or because they really do support him. Would you say Raila will be able to beat him?
Raila has the numbers. He doesn't have to use money. But I've always argued you need to a decisive victory. And if money can push you from 50, which is in the dispute terrain, to 54, which is very clear, 55, 56%, why not? Use a bit of that money. And no campaign is possible without money. Let me give you a good example. In 2013 and 2017, if Raila had injected monies into campaign, not handouts, just ensuring, for example, he had agents throughout the country, there would have been no dispute. He would have won this thing hands down. Hands down.
Oh.
Uhuru would not have taken 2013. In 2017, they would not have managed these shenanigans. Because what was in the polling station, what was there physically, was tampered with electronically. That's why the servers have not been opened. But if he had presence in every polling station and was able to provide physical evidence of, because the polling station is the final place in our elections, according to the law. If he had the kind of evidence the Tumbi had for Kiamba and the Juja and the rest, kind of forms it at 4A or something.
Yes.
Whatever that form number is.
That 4A is.
At the polling station, which is supposed to be pinned on the door after counting. If he had all that, even the guys of the servers would have thought twice.
Oh.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? You need money. You need money to have agents. It's not little money. You need money to make people mobilize for you. You need infrastructure. You need vehicles. You need to mobilize. That's money.
Oh.
I think Raila does very little of that.
Can we be able then to have an election where this money is regulated, the money that is being given out, so that we can be able to know this money has been given to this particular person, it has come from this politician, and this is the source of their wealth? Can we be able to see that in next year's election, so that we have an election that we are sure we are voting for the right people?
There was the Election Financing Act and Parliament threw it out on mere technicalities. On mere debt. Oh, this should have come here before this, for this debt. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of law can knock sense into our electoral system, because it's also not just how you are spending, it's also how you got it. Source of your money. Very, very critical. We want to know. And if you are saying, if you are telling us you can put 3 billion into your presidential campaign without showing us the source, which means it is your money, how much do you pay in taxes?
Oh.
If you are an MP and you have been allowed to go all the way up to 40 million and you have spent 40 million, and you can't show us who gave you 1 shilling, so it means it's your money. Can we see the transaction in your bank? Can we see your taxes? Are you the kind of man who can use 40 million in 3 months on an election?
Oh.
How much have you paid in taxes for the last 10 years?
Some zero.
So it's a good thing, but also more importantly, to deal with this culture of handouts. Because then they stand in the way of a good leader being elected. So in this country, there are people who would want to stand. They have ideas to offer this country. But they know it's about money, so they just stay away.
Oh.
A colleague at the university went to stand somewhere in Malindi, I don't know where, in Kilifi. When he came back, he said, gentlemen, don't try. You need 2 things in Kenya's election. Big bags, his words were bags of money. And you must be a crook. So that keeps away women. We need women in leadership. Because if you must be a crook, women will not be very good crooks. If you have bags and bags of money, women don't have bags and bags of money. So you keep away women, you keep away young people, you keep away qualified leaders who can lead well, you only create room for thieves. Because to throw money around cannot be money you have stolen. Even a good businessman who has made his billions, he cannot throw that money around. No, it can't be money it can't be money you have worked for. Money you have earned. Even in business, even if business has been so good to you and for you, and you have made good money, it is unlikely somebody who has earned his money can throw it away the way our politicians do. So that leaves me to conclude, and I think many people would, that the money being thrown around is money that's been stolen.
Is it still give, still give? That's what's happening in the country.
So you steal, you get power. When you get power, you use the power to steal more.
That's that.
And to protect that which you have stolen.
Are we creating now chaos in our country when we see some leaders giving money and some not? Will this bridge bring along some enmity between people?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying it's bad. It's bad because then you are only creating a few in society who can get leadership, riding on the money they have stolen.
Dynasty kind of hustler.
Yeah, you create that kind of, which is dangerous to a country. If you are going to create a small class of people, a club, who will perpetually be in power, cutters of their property, their wealth, and if that wealth is questionable, then you are not going to have a good society. We want a society where everybody feels they have a fair chance at anything. That if I want to become a leader because it is in me, I will offer myself. I can lose, but not because I didn't have money. Let me lose because there were better candidates than me, but not because the person who won and using money, most likely stolen money.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of society we want.
But the people in general would want that society because they are the people that take the monies, isn't it?
You know what? If you read history, if you look even at the Bible, look at the Quran, look at anything that gives you an idea of what has been happening over the years in society, there is always the place of leaders and the leadership. To blame the people they are electing wrong people is to miss the point. That's why a society can be backwards. And an individual, one, takes power and they change. People always talk about Singapore, South Korea. Yeah. There are many others, even Malaysia, and there are many others. Brazil now, Indonesia. You know, they are an individual, Turkey, an individual takes power with a vision to transform society. So the place of leadership cannot be gainsaid. So let's not blame people for electing wrong people. Let our leaders know that they owe to this country to come up with laws and regulations that will make this society a good society. And whatever we do must be sustainable. Let them not be so greedy. So that law was a good law. It needed a little refining here and there, but we needed it in place. We put a few people in jail. We disqualify a few people during elections using the same law. And over time, 10, 15, 20 years, it will be very difficult for somebody to use money.
But the problem is, it is the same leaders who are supposed to pass the law.
And that's the problem where it is. I'm saying leaders must know it's not just about them. But at the end of the day, in the final analysis, what you do thinking you are thinking about yourself will affect you. Because you need a country tomorrow.
Today
if what you are doing today destroys the country, then who will you lead in whatever capacity? So leaders must know they should think about themselves, but they should think about the country and the future more. Yes.
In the fullness of time.
In the fullness.
I'm the one who said it today. Until we do have these conversations again, thank you so much for tuning in. It's up to you, and it's up to you as our leader to shift your mind and know that later in the future, this thing will come to affect us all. Until we do have this conversation again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day.